The man had just dropped his daughter off when a terrorist attack happened. A huge blast wave knocked him down. When he woke up again, he rushed into the smoke in a hurry, but all he found was his daughter's body. So the man took out all his savings, only hoping to catch the killer quickly. The sheriff had no choice but to tell him. The attack was planned by a terrorist group called RIA. After hearing this, the man left without hesitation. Soon he locked onto the target, an Irish politician, once a leader of RIA. The man went to find him, hoping to get answers from him, but the politician refused to say anything. Seeing this, the man said no more. He walked into the toilet, took out the prepared explosives, tied the bottle mouth with a rope and hung it in the air. Then he lit a cigarette. After that, the man left calmly. A violent explosion threw the whole building into chaos. No traces were found at the scene. The politicians in the building were furious, but this was just a small warning from the man. He would do anything for revenge. Soon his second revenge came. The man made a batch of bombs at home. That day, when the politicians' men were about to drive, one of them suddenly noticed something wrong. He opened the fuel tank carefully and found a note inside with a name on it. It turned out the man didn't plan to kill them. He just wanted to tell the politician he could kill him anytime. The politician had to return to his manor. He had an elite special police team deployed there. He thought he could rest easy this way, but all this was part of the man's plan. He drove to the politician's manor, covered his car with branches, and erased his tracks. At night, he snuck into the stable with bombs and took care of 2 sentries easily. As the countdown hit 0, a huge flame burst through the stable. When the politician heard the explosion, he rushed out of the manor. He knew this was the man's final warning. The enraged politician sent men to arrest the man. In the carpet search, they soon found traces of the man. Little did they know this was all the man's plan. The first man stepped into the woods and was tripped by a steel cable. The man hiding nearby immediately covered him. The others found the man's backpack, and as they walked forward, their feet were pierced by traps. Using these traps, the man took down all the men. He grabbed one of them and forced him to tell who really killed his daughter. To survive, the special forces soldier had to reveal where the killer was hiding. The man rushed to the target location, ready to finish his revenge. Every time before going home, he would deliberately untie his shoelaces. When he reached his doorway, he didn't go in, but climbed a few more steps. Using the time to tie his shoelaces, he observed the movement downstairs. After confirming no one was following him, he took the peanut out from the door crack. Only then did he relax his vigilance. And he did this all because 4 years ago, he personally killed the gang leader. The gang's second-in-command, seeking revenge, issued a hit order against him, but the adversary didn't expect that he would appear at the gang leader's funeral. The man knew he had to eliminate the one who issued the order for life to return to peace, and the noisy environment at the scene was the perfect time to act. He targeted the person, immediately shot and killed them. Fearing the person was still alive, he walked over and fired several more shots. Although there were many gang members present, no one dared to step forward, all stepping aside on their own. He wiped the fingerprints off the gun, then threw it into the grass, facing the arriving police. He wasn't afraid, but smiled happily instead. It turned out he had already planned his escape route. In a fierce fight, he blinded a police officer in one eye, and finally escaped capture. Since then, he lived in hiding, vigilant every day, afraid of being discovered. Just as his life was calming down, a phone call disrupted him. His grandma was sent to the emergency room. He hurried to the hospital, but didn't dare to show himself openly, only waiting in the corner. After the doctor's full efforts, his grandma still passed away in the end. The loss of his only relative made him heartbroken. He decided to take a gamble, but the medical report the doctor brought out pulled him back to reality again. He was in the late stage of cancer, with only 3 months to live. The doctor, knowing his past, advised him to turn himself in, but when he arrived at the police station, the police didn't recognize him, because the police station was full of people turning themselves in. Before he could finish speaking, the police pushed him to queue up. This dismissive attitude made him doubt himself for a while. Then he noticed the wanted poster on the wall. The first 2 were other people. He was only third, so he decided to eliminate these 2 dangerous criminals.